Hello. Welcome to our first look at Darkest Dungeon 2. Those of you who played the first game will know how popular this game is. It's got quite a lot of mods, total conversions and everything like that. It's a very popular game. The second one doesn't quite seem to have received the same reception though. And I think after having played it for about a dozen hours or so, I would say that it's familiar yet different. So it's got a lot of the same core mechanics. You still manage a party, you still engage in combat, so that side of the game is pretty much the same. It's the things around it that are slightly different. The fundamentals are quite similar, but they've tried to change things up, and yet I almost feel like they haven't changed things enough. So they have tried to take a different approach, but they haven't quite taken it far enough to be different. Let me show you guys what I mean. Anyway, let me continue onwards. But every game begins with exactly the same situation. You begin with a carriage, you have a bit of light, and then...
while the flame still burns, hope remains.
Right, so the Altar of Hope is basically your base. It's equivalent of your base from the first game, although you can only access it after each run. So you either complete the run successfully or you do not, and they come back here. So essentially this Altar of Hope is the equivalent of your town from the first game. You've got a number of different locations that allow you to do different things.
Study the winding roads and routes of our kingdom. Find any advantage.
So for example here, you can upgrade your carriage. That gives you more inventory slots. It allows you to attach more items to your stagecoach. Here you can get some free bonuses, make things cheaper and everything like that. And there's also pets that you can attach with bonuses. So in this case I've unlocked the Orphan Wolf Cub, and it gives you a bit of bonus in terms of your party members being able to form relationships with each other. So one of the currencies of the game is this, which is called, I think they're light candles? But anyway, you collect them through your runs, and then you come back and spend them at the Altar of Hope. And if you want to go and make the game harder, which I believe this is, you can actually, you can invest points in this Infernal Flame. So essentially everything in the Altar of Hope provides you permanent bonuses of one form or another. So here it looks like you can unlock some items. It doesn't provide them to you though. I think it just makes them available to find during the runs, which is interesting. And here,
will carry the day.
And this is one of the biggest differences between this game and the previous one. You don't get a stable of characters that you manage throughout the entire game, right? So in the first game you recruit the characters and you could upgrade them, you could train them to get new skills, you can unlock new skills. But in this game it's all about character classes, not so much individual characters. So you can invest some candles in unlocking different skills for that character class. So in this case, here we can get some extra resistance to death. You can unlock some trinkets that you can then find during your runs. So you don't get them just by unlocking them, you have to actually find them during the runs. But until you unlock them, they're not findable. And they give you some really good bonuses for that class. And yeah, you can unlock different parts that give you different bonuses and stuff like that. And all the character classes have to be unlocked. So you start with just these 4 guys over here. The rest you have to unlock. So I've unlocked the Hellion, and I've unlocked the Jester. There's a whole bunch of other classes that you can unlock. But you have to invest candles. So the game wants you to play the game over and over again, collect candles, until you've got enough to invest in what you want. It's not necessarily the case that you want to invest all the way up here, right? So for example, if you only want your Plague Doctor to be a surgeon and be a healer primarily, then you can just invest up to here, for example, the path. But if you want your Plague Doctor to be a poisoner, then you can invest up to here and get the Alchemist path, which then allows you to do more damage with the Blight. Each character class gets a whole bunch of different paths that you can use. You can invest in unlocking memories that provide each class with permanent bonuses. I've only managed to actually finish an expedition once, but when I did and came back to the altar, it had the heroes that survived, and you could unlock memories for them by spending candles. And here you can make things cheaper, right? Or you can get more options. And here is the recollection. So in this case, I've unlocked a number of things by finding them in my run, but you don't get them. This is just basically a listing of what's available. So anyway, anything that you upgrade here is basically a permanent bonus. But after this, all of your characters and everything like that, nothing's permanent. So all the trinkets that you collect, all of the skills you upgrade, all the relationships that you build. So in that sense, you do have similarities to the first game, but there are differences.
Once more into the maelstrom. in search of what hope yet remains.
But every run begins in exactly the same way. You start in the darkness, you go to the altar of hope, and then you proceed onwards to the valley.
The seat of your denial, perched precariously in the murky gloaming.
Right, and the game has 5 confessions. Essentially they're expeditions, right? Expeditions comprising multiple dungeons. I have finished Denial, which then unlocked Resentment, but I haven't managed to get through Resentment. But from what I've seen so far, basically they essentially play in a very similar manner. So the confessions are expeditions, which involve multiple dungeons, and each dungeon kind of plays very similarly to what you saw in the first game. Anyway, let's go with Denial. That's the first confession.
You have cowered in your crumbling denial long enough.
And there is an overarching story in terms of why you're doing this. And you get snippets of it as you travel through the darkness.
The university's resources were impressive, and yet, on occasion, we relished in first-hand experience. The crossroads, a beacon for the broken and the battered.
And here's where you recruit your heroes. Right, all the classes that you've unlocked are available here, including the 4 starting ones. You can customize them slightly depending on what you've unlocked.
More devastating than the horrors of 100 campaigns. Hunted, harried, a fugitive seeking to outpace the past. Indiscriminate science stains the surgeon's hands.
Now, I have unlocked a number of things. Yeah, exactly. Each character class has a backstory. So you start with no backstory whatsoever. But as you reach different shrines of remembrance during your expeditions, you can actually unlock memories. So in this case, let me play the good student.
Brilliant and bold, her unconventional theories created nothing short of a scandal in her 4th year. The mocking whispers and scornful glares of her peers and professors had an ironically invigorating effect upon her extracurricular experiments. The mysteries of the human body, of life and death itself, hovered just beyond her scalpel's reach. If only she could acquire a corpse of sufficient freshness.
Yeah, let's just say that there's more to that story. It goes in exactly the way you'd expect. In any case, the fundamental purpose of unlocking these memories is to get more skills. So in this case, I've unlocked all the skills that are available to the Plague Doctor. You start with these 5 up top, but because I've unlocked some, I can actually go and use them. This is the final one, and as you can see, it's really useful, right? I have done pretty much everything for the Highwayman, and as you can see, yeah. So the last story will unlock these 2. But so far, let's see, pistol shot. Yeah, pistol shot's really useful. Duelist advance. So just like with the first game, you end up getting more skills than you can actually take, because you can only take 5 skills, but you unlock 10, I think. Or 11 rather. You can unlock 11. So you're always struggling for choice there. And each skill can be upgraded once during your journey, but that upgrade does not stay. And because we unlocked some parts, we can actually choose them as well. So in this case, the rogue can become a bit of a frontline guy. And if you played the first game, you'll know that every character has a set of positive and negative quirks. So every character begins with a goal that they want to achieve during the mission. Yeah, so in this case, I'm gonna go with Deadeye. She's gonna be ranged. This guy's a surgeon for healing. This guy's a rogue. This guy's a sergeant for tanking. And I think we're pretty much done. Unfortunately, the quirk system is pretty much irrelevant, I'm sorry to say. It has an effect during the actual confessions, aka expeditions. But because characters get chosen afresh every time you run a new confession, essentially the quirks don't matter. So that's one reason why I said that things were different yet similar. So the game does not want you to focus on a stable of characters that you manage throughout the entire game. Instead it wants you to focus on character classes. But at the same time, each of the characters still has things like these. The same with the relationships, as you see later on. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna throw away those characters. Unless I missed something, right? There could be memories that we unlock or something like that. But from what I've seen, you start with a fresh stable of characters every single profession, whether you succeed or fail. So it is different in that sense, but it still doesn't quite let go of the roots that it had in the first game. Anyway, let's go with this.
This was a beautiful place once. What a pity.
So the overland travel sequences act like a dungeon in the first game. You've got paths that you choose from. The biggest difference is that you can't double back. And you control the actual movement of the carriage, and if you run into these little things on the road, there are bonuses that you can pick up, like extra loot, extra supplies and things like that.
Comforts are exhausted. Ahead, only trial and tribulation.
And as per the first game, you have encounters.
The walk of your denial is giving way.
And by the way, the UI is really well done. So for example, if you want to see the character sheets, you can just right click and that will show you the entire character sheet. You can see that. So in this case, I want to check whether, whether anybody has a goal to kill gaunts. Let's see. A lair boss. Ah, shit, that's annoying. Okay, so nothing against gaunts. You can also scout out the enemies by pressing Alt when you mouse over them.
Let us take a closer look at the thing, as repulsive as it is.
And you start with question marks everywhere, but because I fought these guys multiple times, then you can actually see what the skills are. And yeah, basically combat sequences play exactly the same as they did in the first game. So in this case, you've got an order, so he goes first, then another one, yep, and he goes first. And you've got different classes, so in this case, these guys are gaunts.
What can we learn upon closer inspection?
Yeah, you can see the class down here. So these guys are gaunt. Anyway, let's see. Let's take care of this guy. Burn, baby, burn. Actually, no. Announce of prevention. Yeah. Let's buff our resistances.
Collaboration confers advantage.
Okay, so this guy is a bit of a tank. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get him to defend this guy, which then gives us gives this guy 3 blocks, and this guy gets 2 guarded. So anybody attacking this guy will get blocked by this guy. But this guy has damage reduction. Essentially, he takes less damage, but he takes damage on behalf of this guy. So these 3 guys are damage dealers and healers, and this guy's a tank. Okay, let's see. Grape Shot Blast. Should I do this? Yeah, I've only just unlocked this. Actually, that's useless. Anyway, let's go forward. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use Duelist Advance. He's gonna push forward. Do that. Now that's added a couple more perks. Yep, as you saw, he blocked. And you give me poison. Okay, so I could do this. Yeah, I think I'll do this. It's not a bad idea to actually stack damage over time by poison, right? But in this case, I think we're fine. So let's do multiple area damage. Right, and he's just guarded. Yeah, he's just got guarded by this guy. Let's see. Point blank shot. Okay, excellent. Bang! Moves him back a slot. Moves him back a slot. But it also gives us a combo, which I can't use with this guy. But yeah, make it rain.
The enemy weakens and wanes.
So yeah, the UI is as good as it was in the first game, so I can just mouse over and see what exactly the effects are. If you also need to know what each of the symbols means, you can also just press Control, and that gives you a complete list. Not everything seems to show up, but pretty much everything does. It does take a little bit of time to get used to things, but yeah, the UI is really nicely done. You can get the information you need. It may take you a little while to understand how exactly to get the information, but it's all available. And you can also just mouse over just to see, right? So, just like the first game, stacking up stacking up damage over time is really important, especially against bosses. Alright, so let me see if I can't... Yes, here. He's still affected by the combo. She gets a 50% crit bonus when this guy is affected by that. Alright, let me show you the combo. There you go, combo. Yup, he's taking some damage over time. Right, he's got riposte, so actually guarding this guy is kind of pointless. So let me guard her instead, and he gets a damage reduction buff, which is great. Yeah, no, fine, go ahead. Now, unfortunately, guarded also works against ranged attacks, which doesn't quite make sense to me, but fine. I'll kill this guy first then. Right, and now I need to heal this guy. His damage over time is getting quite bad.
This wound, at least, has been tended to.
There's the riposte. And he gets that. Nice. Okay, so which means... okay, this guy has no combo. Okay, make it rain.
The fiend's strength dwindles.
Make it rain, baby. Okay, he's still guarded. Let's get rid of this guy. So we're gonna get a combo bonus. Now we're really stacking damage over time. So he's got 15 hit points. That will do 8 per turn. He'll last 2 turns, I think. Can I? Yeah, let's just hit him. Yeah, you point blank. Oh, he's gonna get. Okay. So I'm gonna get a point blank shot, but he's gonna attack us because this guy's guarded. Oh well. Oh, he took it instead. Okay, he took it instead. Nice. Okay, now that was a riposte. Excellent. Okay, this guy's basically dead. Yeah, let's finish him.
The unrelenting application of violence yields morbid gains.
Okay, and you can also pick up mastery points, which you can use to upgrade skills for your characters. And you get loot, so yeah.
Are you shaken? There is so much worse in store.
No, I'm not shaken, I'm stirred. Just like 007, lol. Anyway, and then you'll come to an inn. This is where the expedition's proper start.
We would come here in summers of years gone to write, think, and rest.
Okay, I mentioned that confessions are essentially multiple dungeon expeditions. Each dungeon begins at an inn and ends at an inn. So now we're at the beginning of a dungeon. So one big difference between this game and the previous game is that there's no permanent cache at your base. You carry everything with you. And everything you collect is basically not permanent. The only thing that matters are those candles that you pick up on the way. They reduce a bit of stress, so you can always end it early.
League, a lesson.
You can end the expedition early, but you may as well push on until your characters all die, because at the end of the day, characters don't have permanence, right? Well, individual characters don't have permanence. But anyway, you can also end it here. There should be an option to abandon the expedition during the game. So it's not just at the inns that you can actually abandon the expeditions. Anyway, shopping.
Conventional fare, but fairly priced.
Okay, now I have unlocked this by spending candles, so let's get that. Yeah, and this one you get for free, but I think I've upgraded it to the point where it's much more useful. I think that happened the last expedition. Used to be level 3, but now it's level 4 apparently. Not sure how it gets upgraded, but it just does. And here we have stagecoach. Can't afford anything. Can't afford anything. That's fine. Okay, but let me look at the coach.
Mindfulness, as vital to survival as sharpened steel.
So essentially the carriage acts like your base outside of the base, right? So the Altar of Hope is really your base, but this is your base during the expeditions. You start with one slot, but I've unlocked several, and I've also unlocked the pit. So here you can put the flame.
Radiant light will suffuse you with the strength of your convictions.
Yeah, so if you want to make things easier, you put in the Radiant Flame. If you want to make things harder, you put in the Inferno Flame. Here, the cup. Yep, and it can't be removed until you start anew.
A little company for the long ride ahead.
Yeah, so you start with 2 wheels and 2 armor, and 1 slot over here. Everything else that you see I've unlocked. Let's go to the Master Trainer.
However painful, is the greatest teacher of all.
So here's where you can upgrade skills for your individual characters. The one thing that is different between this game and the previous game is that you can only upgrade a skill once. So in this case, let's say I want to upgrade Defender. Can't quite see the icons, but in the upgraded skill, we get a 75% damage reduction to ourselves, and we guard the target 3 times as opposed to 2. So this one's definitely worth an upgrade if you want to go for a tank build. But yeah, you can only upgrade them once, that's it. And the upgrades are not permanent. So once you start a new confession or a new run, essentially you gotta do this all over again. So you're upgrading this individual character, but this individual character does not have permanence. I always go for a lot of upgrades on my healer. This one's really useful if you upgrade it because it removes negative debuffs and stuff like that. This one's really good for buffing your resistances. Let's go with this one. If you made a mistake, you can just reset it and start all over again. And there are certain things you can only use at an inn, but their effect lasts until the next inn. So if I buy and use this particular item, I can give that particular character resistance to being moved until the next inn, which is essentially an entire dungeon. Let me get a bit of whiskey just to show you how relationships work. Right, so the characters also have relationships to each other. But yes, you can see there's some relationships. They can be affected by various factors. As the relationship gets better, you get a bigger chance of forming a positive relationship, which means that when you use a particular skill, it can give a positive buff to the counterpart. But on the other hand, if you have a negative relationship, whenever you use a particular skill, it might negatively affect the other character. So during an expedition, during a run, it actually makes a difference. But outside of that, it makes no difference. There's no permanence between runs. Anyway. So if I choose, say, this guy and this guy, they get a bit of bonus. And because nothing is permanent, so for example, you don't get to keep relics, essentially you want to spend them. You want to spend them within a run. Okay, so I'm not going to bother with any of these. You can also find shops during expeditions. You can find hoarders, or you can find field hospitals that you can spend currency at.
Rain, fire, and rot. Is there no sanctuary from this madness?
Okay, now typically from an inn you get to choose between 2 paths. And there are optional goals, so in this case, right. So this is the special trinket for the grave robber, which makes her poisoning really good. Or you can get more mastery points, which are not really that important. I think this one's really useful. Yeah, you gotta meet the optional goals. But having said that, before you start, you should definitely check the hero goals. In the Tangle, right? Because a lot of the goals are specific to different locations. So this guy wants us to go into the Tangle. But otherwise, it doesn't really matter what we do. And I think I was leaning towards the Tangle anyway because of this trinket. So yeah, we might as well go here.
Trenches and tents. The front lines of a war that was never fought.
Visually and from a presentation perspective, I think the game has improved quite a bit. So it still retains that ink-drawn gothic character look, but they have added a whole bunch of things to make the presentation better.
War rewards only resignation.
So yes, essentially each of the locations you traverse are dungeons. The big difference is that you can't cut back. So I couldn't go here, here, and then come back here, right? You have to choose between two paths. And this is where the game's roguelike mechanics come into it. The game wants you to go through over and over again. The things that are permanent are hero shrines. So you should definitely prioritize them as you make your runs. Because hero shrines unlock a memory, which then provides you character classes with permanent skill unlocks. So we want to do that. Let's see. You can also see the goals. So we want to avoid battles, but we want to hit hero shrines. So we should be able to meet this one right away. There's a watchtower over here. And there should be a layer somewhere here. There's a layer over there. Right, so we'll go here, 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 and here. I'll probably die. I have tried to fight layer bosses, but I haven't done very well. I think you need to unlock a whole bunch of memories and skills for pretty much a number of heroes before you actually take on layers properly. But let's try it this time. I'll probably die, but it'll be a good demonstration of what the game's about, right? Anyway. So visually the game looks fantastic, I have to say. Okay, and each path has its proponents and detractors. So in this case, we'll go here.
Though decidedly inconvenient, at least we know what's coming.
Ah, shit. And there are unavoidable hazards. So in this case, that increases loading. Essentially, loading makes the game more difficult. So if you stack up, say, 4 levels of loading, that upgrades the loading level and things get more difficult. Kind of acts in a similar way to having low torch. But you can't avoid them, that's the problem, right? So in this case, if we'd taken this path, we would have lost 1 wheel. And we only have 3 wheels, right? But that's unavoidable.
The loathing whispers.
And on the road, you meet obstacles that you can't avoid. But the thing is, you don't want to avoid them, because if you hit them, you can pick up bonuses. And you'll note that the torch decreases as we travel. But if I look at my inventory, I should be able to increase my torch level, but I can't. This can only be used in combat. So the torches are something that comes back from the first game, because like I said before, these are essentially dungeons. But unlike the first game, I can't upgrade the torch level, for example. So this is where I feel that the game has tried to step away from what the first game was, but it's still tied in by some of the mechanics. So yeah, so I can see little things within the game where they kept the same mechanics as in the first game, but they didn't account for the differences in this game. Anyway, you do want to run into these obstacles because they can give you bonuses.
Understand the past if we are ever to be free of it.
And yes, you have to click on the actual name in order to go in here. Took me a while to realize that, and I was sitting there going, okay, I mean, it looks very pretty, but why aren't you going inside? Anyway, so there are memories. Okay, so I've unlocked every memory for this guy, so the only option is to avoid. Yes, and if you press Alt, yeah, you can, here it tells you can press Alt to get more info. Let's unlock the last memory for this guy.
Chapter 5. Shackled. The lifeless bodies of a woman and child, horribly mutilated by errant gunfire, stared spectrally through the remnants of the coach door. Arrested by the ghoulish sight, he felt the cold chains of remorse tighten around his heart. Guilt was a pursuer he could never outrun, a prison he would never escape.
He's a murderer. He was just trying to make a buck in order to survive, but he ended up killing kids. You're a murderer, you bastard. Anyway, the last level gives you 2 skills, which of course are meant to be endgame skills. So the game definitely wants you to play through the expeditions over and over again to unlock these new skills. This one seems to be a good defensive skill because it gives you a damage reduction buff. This one seems to be a bit of a finisher. Anyway. Yes, he did set you up, buddy. He did set you up. You know that. Okay, that's another loading level.
Ahead, a bestial refuge.
Ah, shit, I missed that.
Bones and less identifiable remains.
That's okay, we're gonna walk right in there. Anyway, you can slow down the pace, so it's not real time or anything like that. And incidentally, we just met his goals, which gives us 2 more candles. Maybe we'll get them at the end, but they show up in your inventory. So the inventory space in your coach is actually really important. Simply, more inventory means more loot that you can bring back. Anyway, so the traveling on the stagecoach sequences are not real time.
The loathing festers.
So I just missed that one. So if you have trouble hitting the things, you can actually just slow down. Sometimes the camera is a bit slow. Missed that one as well. Okay, that doesn't matter. Yeah, you can slow things down. Yeah, so here the camera takes a while to turn, right? So you can easily miss out on things. Enter the den. Right, and each action has positive and negative consequences. So in this case, this guy's blue, he doesn't like it. He wants to fight, this guy wants to leave. Yeah, he wants to avoid. Okay, they all want to avoid, why? You can't skip it. Let's fight. Yeah, so relationship went down because of that. And yes, like I said before, combat pretty much plays like in the first game. Right, I definitely need to buff our resistances. These guys are poisoned.
Emboldened.
Yeah, he's vulnerable. So he needs to be buffed. Defender. Right, and that defender skill, because it's upgraded, now gives us a minus 75% damage, which is amazing. Once you buff his hit points, he becomes a real tank. And he's guarded. Yeah, these guys are pretty resistant to blight. You know what? Trying to hit these guys would be kind of pointless, so let's go for poisoning on you. Resisted. Munch. Bleed, okay. Oh, don't spit on me, bro. It's unhygienic. Lol. Highway robbery. Actually, let me do this. Let me show this one off. This one's really nice. So, I can steal... Oh, you can only hit the first 3 ranks, okay. So I can steal these 2 dodges. Now, I get his bonuses.
Cooperation is the key.
I took his bonuses. Screw you, buddy. Oh, he doesn't have riposte, of course, but he's got dodge. Let me protect her. Okay, now. We're not still buffed. He's bleeding, but that's fine. Make it rain. Right. Everybody's got the burn except for this guy. But we took 1 level of dodge out of him. Yeah, let's do multiple damage. Nice dodge. Nice dodge. Yep, took a critical, but still alive. But it got poisoned. Okay, grape shot blast. Okay, let's advance and get a riposte. Nice.
The work continues.
So we've got 2 ripostes and we still keep that dodge. So he's essentially pretty tough. Okay, he's getting some pretty nasty poisoning, so I could save it. Yeah, let's save it. Unfortunately, this is limited to only 3 users, which is not great, but okay, fine. Yeah, okay, fine. But he took away his dodge.
Bravo.
Yeah, that thing's gonna die, right? It should die.
Emboldened. Right, point blank shot. Bam! Yeah, let's use the Glimmer of Hope.
That should improve our lighting. But yeah, like I said before, you can only use these things during combat, which is inconsistent with the way the rest of the journeys work. Yeah, that's a boss.
In crisis, we can rely only upon each other.
And yes, there are multiple stages to fight sometimes, right? I think this was also the case in the first game. I wouldn't say that I'm someone who's played the first game for hundreds of hours or anything like that, but I have played it. And I have to say that I did enjoy the experience, and I think that this game does recapture a lot of the essence of the first one. There are inconsistencies, of course, and I think some of that is putting off some of the hardcore Darkest Dungeon fans. But I think the essence of the game is still here. It is slightly different though. Okay, Defender. Let's get another level.
Cooperation is the key.
Yeah, let's just take a hit. Oh well. Alright, hopefully this should remove some of the dodges. Bam! Ouch! How the hell? Okay, stunned. Okay, this one should combine really well with this one.
Sweat-soaked brows, unsteady stances. Exhaustion takes hold.
You're still a bit buff. Okay. Okay, this guy needs some healing, so yeah, let's get rid of the blight.
Welcome relief from caustic agony.
Let's take his dodge. Ouch. Okay, nice. And he's blinded. Okay, that's great. Yeah, let's advance. He's got damage over time. Nice. Perfect. Exactly what I wanted.
Another impediment, cleared with impunity. Stumbling and stupefied.
Yeah, let's defend her. Although the Plague Doctor is getting hammered.
The enemy weakens and wanes. Fight through the fatigue.
Or I'm gonna gamble that he's got enough hit points to survive an attack.
In crisis, we can rely only upon each other.
That's why you get point blank shot, folks. That is exactly why you get that. Alright, let's protect this guy. And of course they target the one who was protected, but he's no longer. Smart buggers. If I could throw the dagger. Yeah. Poisoning has no effect on this guy, so. Alright, let's see. Oh, can't go that far, okay. Oh no, can't go that far. Oh, that's a bit of a problem. Oh, it gives us more armor, okay, so I'll do this. Fine. Normally use that skill to reduce stress, but that's fine. And we heal a lot more because we had some positive and negative bonuses. I don't want to kill that thing. I want one more round of healing. So I'm just gonna spend this. Okay, what a waste. Actually, you know what? Let's get rid of the corpse. That's right, we're robbing your grave. Oh, this has got a cooldown. Okay, fine. I can also heal this guy this way. Yeah, he's got poison, so yeah. Oh, actually, you can only heal them once they've got less than 50% hit points. So healing's a bit more difficult in this game. But yeah, but just like in the first game, you can't heal outside of combat. Unless it's at an inn by using consumables. So that's a bit annoying. That is a bit annoying. Okay, dodge, dodge, dodge. Okay, take this guy. Horror. I guess we've taken too long. This might kill him. It did. Okay, it did.
Cut down these nightmares and blaze the trail to your redemption.
Anyway, we have cleared the lair, and in this case, we picked up a deliverable. Once we deliver this, we should get some bonuses at the next inn.
The loathing whispers.
Right, and we do want to hit the watchtower, right? I would prefer to go to these guys, but that's fine. Okay, so we'll go for the watchtower, then we'll go for the boss.
When deliberation is exhausted, trust your instincts.
Perfect, everybody like that. So yeah, it is kind of tricky to try and hit all the obstacles, but you can get bonuses. Not always, sometimes. And here we're gonna take some damage. We're gonna miss that one, aren't we? Yeah, we missed that one. Okay, we just picked up a bit of a food, I think. Yeah, this one. And that watchtower gives us a whole bunch of scouting. I think it essentially allows us to see the entire map. Fine. Yeah, I don't like the fact that damage is unavoidable. So there's just literally no way to avoid this rough patch over here. Doesn't matter what you do, you can't avoid it, so that's another inconsistency with the game. So on the one hand, the game wants you to control how you drive, but on the other hand, it makes certain things unavoidable. It's not a big deal, right? But it is inconsistent.
By some existential shock, the poor devils roam aimlessly amidst the trees.
And yeah, the help system is actually really nice.
Within every keep, a general and his loyal lumbering guard.
But again, the thing about watchtowers is that every single run will have a different randomly generated location. So even if you deliberately target watchtowers in order to scout out a location, the next time you come to that location in a different run, you simply get no bonus.
Cooperation is the key.
Let me steal this guy's block. Oh, only one, okay, that's annoying. Let's hit him with the dagger. That should break his guard. Got this guy. Ouch, that hurt. So everybody's pretty well guarded, so let's remove some of the buffs. And you, make it rain.
The fiend's strength dwindles. In crisis,
we can rely only upon each other.
She needs the guard more than he does. Hey, what happened? Oh, okay, so I can't... Okay, this is bad. I got debuffed. So I think these guys... Yeah, they hit me with this, which gives me a debuff. So I can't protect myself anymore. Yeah, so these guys basically counter my man-at-arms ability to guard people, which is annoying. Right, let's see, he's got 4 hit points, 2 turns. I need to do something about him though. Oh, I can't get guard, okay. Shit, that's annoying. Alright, let's chuck this. Two to 5, 4 to 6. Let's get a guaranteed kill.
A simple variable, easily resolved.
Okay, we're still debuffed for 2 more turns. Actually, yeah, no, I can actually guard someone. Yes, I can. It's pointless to guard this guy, so let's guard her. Oh, that's bad. Okay, he's nearly dead, but he's still alive. That's annoying. Okay, let's see. Can we... No, we can't get guard, so that's pointless. Could charge forward, but I can't hit the back line. I think he's gonna die from damage over time. Actually, I'm really stressed. Oh, that hurts. They're definitely targeting this guy. Point blank shot. Can we get rid of you? 2. This one's 2. Oh, Death's Door. Come on, game. 2 guys on Death's Door. Okay, fine. This guy needs some healing.
This road cannot be walked alone.
And that improved our relationship. Nice. Still can't get defensive bonuses. So I might as well go on the attack. He should die, right? He may die, but... Okay, let's get rid of this guy. Oh, everybody's on Death's Door. That's right, folks. The undead enemies are on Death's Door.
What
Lol.
can we learn upon?
So they're about to become even deader than they used to be. Okay, flashing dags. Yeah, let's get rid of you guys.
The work continues.
Nice. But this is simply stage 1 of 3. Jesus. Right, now they've got a caster as well. Must get
In
resistances.
crisis, we can rely only upon each other.
Let's hit the caster with everything we have. Ouch.
Well done. The enemy weakens and wanes. Collaboration confers advantage.
So he's got 9 hit points. He'll do 4. He's protected as well. Get rid of the bishop first. He should die, right? Oh, 1 hit point. Annoying git. Okay, I'm pretty sure he's gonna die from damage over time, but let's remove some of the buffs. I could steal some of them.
Cooperation is the key.
That would take away his defensive bonuses.
A simple variable, easily resolved.
So he's got to buy this guy, so let me hit him with the poison. He's also got a combo trigger. Excellent. He should die pretty much next time his turn comes around. Oh, the meltdown. Shit. Yeah, so because this guy melted down, the relationship with everybody else dropped. He's about to get smashed, so 18 hit points. Could do that, or we could go for, you know what? In his healing.
Calculated generosity, but a welcome one nonetheless.
Okay, I nearly fell for that one. Nice, critical.
Trammeled, trapped, held captive by fear.
Right. Just remember, this is stage 2 of 3. The boss is still waiting for us. Jesus. Alright, poison dart. He's protected. Nice, 2 crits in a row. Very, very nice. 1 hit point. Right, could heal him. Yeah, let's clear the corpses as well.
The fiend's strength dwindles.
Hopefully he'll die. Hopefully he'll die too. Excellent. I don't want to kill that guy. Yeah, so because he had a whole bunch of buffs, he healed quite a lot. Definitely worthwhile. Right, so the next round is the boss. There are some pretty good... Oh, look at that. Nice. There are some pretty good bonuses, but we are unlikely to win.
He has retreated, undying, into a dream. And there he must stay.
We are very unlikely to win, sorry to say. It seems that we have to hit this guy in order to stop him doing the creeping growth. Right, yeah. So maybe that distracts the root.
The slow suffering begins.
We've already got this to maximum. Oh, he's got 50% resistance to bleed. So blight and burn apparently.
Cooperation is the key.
Yeah, let's protect her again. Although, yeah, let's get a hit in. Doesn't do much damage, but every bit counts right now. Nice, more poison. Ah, goddamn, strangle. Jesus. I don't know how to get out of strangle, but essentially this gives us horror all across the team. And it stops them from doing anything worthwhile. Essentially everybody who's strangled becomes useless. I don't know how to get out of this one. Meltdown. Ouch. Meltdown. No, okay. Okay, he's also strangled. I think we're about to lose. Yeah, we're definitely gonna lose, I think. Just not enough damage over time. Yeah, look at that. Can't do anything. Can't do anything. Dead store. Can't even heal him because he's the healer. He's gonna die. He can't do nothing. Yep, I think we're kind of broken at this stage. We're kind of broken.
Sacrifice bestows an uncertain absolution.
So I think the key is to not let Tangle Growth get to level 3, but I tried attacking the root. It still gets it there. Anyway, I'll try, but it's not gonna, definitely not gonna win.
Dissection. An unavoidable end.
Yep, death blow.
Another wound, another loss.
Death blow. That's it, folks. It's the end.
The enemy weakens and wanes. This is no time to falter.
Ouch. How do we remove the tangled growth? That's what I want to know. Does this help? No, it does. Oh, I can heal myself, yeah. Alright, fine. Let's heal ourselves. Let's prolong the pain. Ah, now she's strangled as well. It's over. It's over now.
Once again, teetering on that terrible precipice.
Finish her.
A long road and an abrupt end.
Each milestone makes the next road just a little easier.
So I think you need to upgrade your character classes a lot more in order to beat that boss. Because that strangle is something else. So even failure is still not a complete failure, right? Because you still get the candles that you collected. So in this case it's not much. If you finish the first run successfully, which I did by avoiding the layer bosses, you can get like 70 something candles. Possibly more, but I got 70 last time. But the point of the game is that the devs want you to keep trying over and over again, collecting candles, upgrading characters, upgrading your stagecoach. Then eventually your character classes should be upgraded well enough that you can take on the bosses, right? Because this particular confession, the first one, doesn't require you to defeat layer bosses, but the subsequent ones do. So the game becomes much more difficult much more quickly. Like I said before, you can upgrade individual characters, but that doesn't carry across expeditions. So fundamentally you want to focus on getting permanent bonuses, so upgrading character classes instead of individual characters. You want to focus on upgrading your stagecoach, you want to focus on unlocking memories in order to unlock new skills. And then you want to focus on finishing the expedition successfully so you can unlock memories, which then gives you extra buffs. So essentially the game is all about failing, which is fundamentally the same as with the first game. But the presentation aspect of it is slightly different because, like I said before, the biggest difference is that you're not managing a stable of individual characters, you're managing classes now. But fundamentally the game is still the same. Combat is pretty brutal as it used to be, and there is a chance of you just losing your entire party. So it's no longer as harsh a penalty as it used to be in the first game. So the fundamentals are still there. You are supposed to grind through, but at the same time it does feel like there's a sense of discontinuity, if I can put it that way. The core of the game is still the same, keep trying over and over again, but because your characters are no longer permanent, it does lose a sense of feel of continuity. It makes the grind a little bit more obvious than it used to be. So the way I would classify this game is to say that the developers did try to step away from what the first game was, but they didn't step away far enough from it to give it its own identity. It is still a Darkest Dungeon game, but the lack of a sense of permanence and a lack of sense of progression, which still does exist, but it just doesn't feel that it gives you the same level of progression as the first game did. I think that explains why so many people who are fans and hardcore fans of the first game aren't as keen on this one. But I think that fundamentally this is still a Darkest Dungeon game. Let me just show you as we go back to the Altar of Hope. So essentially you always start at this point again. And you go back to the Altar of Hope where you can spend your candles.
Stagnant and sprawling. This hellish abyss extends beyond sanity itself.
Right, so we picked up a few candles, 38 in this case. Not sure where from, because I'm sure I spent all of the ones I had before. Anyway, so you can come back here and you can upgrade different things.
For tools of iron. Such implements will serve us well. Hail the vessel of your deliverance. These wheels are invested with noble purpose. Every rotation, blessed rest for the warriors of our cause.
I think it's definitely worth upgrading the stagecoach first, just because more inventory slots means more loot that you can bring back, more candles and stuff like that. So, and then after that,
Hearts and minds will carry the day.
upgrade your characters.
The true splendor of a world. Those who live within it.
But yes, the fundamental purpose of the game is all about collecting the candles. It doesn't matter what happens within any given expedition, you will at some point fail, right? Until I guess you've fully upgraded your characters and everything like that. So you're expected to run through expeditions over and over again, collect candles, bring them back to the Altar of Hope after your failure, and then upgrade things that give you permanent bonuses. And then once you've done that often enough, then I believe you should be able to do things like defeat lair bosses, which we completely failed at this time, defeat the mountain, and progress onto the next and subsequent confessions. So that's fundamentally what the game's about, collecting candles and getting permanent bonuses. So anyway, thank you very much. This was the first look at Darkest Dungeon 2. And like I said before, there are similarities, yet there are differences to the first game. But fundamentally, this is still a Darkest Dungeon game. Some people may prefer the first one, some people may prefer this one. But I think that fundamentally still a Darkest Dungeon game. Anyway, thank you very much.